So today we will see how to provision AWS resources. So there are different ways to interact with the AWS resources. So in AWS, everything is an API call. An API is an application programming interface, and what that means is there are predetermined ways for you to interact with AWS services, and you can call these APIs to provision, configure, and manage your AWS resources. Suppose you want to launch an EC2 instance, you want to create a VPC. Each of those would be different requests and different API calls to AWS. To provision these type of requirement, you can use AWS Management Console. You can use AWS command line interface. You can use AWS software development kits. So there are three ways to interact with AWS services. First one is AWS Management Console. Second one is AWS command line interface. And third one is AWS software development kits. Okay. To create requests to send to AWS API and create and manage AWS resources. First, let's talk about the AWS Management Console. The AWS Management Console is browser based, okay, and through the console you can manage your AWS resources visually and in a way that is easy to digest. Means you just log in your AWS console and interact with the instances, just create instances, okay, and launch instances. You can see all the things what's going on, okay. So it's also useful for building or test environment or viewing AWS bills, okay, and you can see the AWS bill through accessing through the AWS Management Console, okay. The AWS Management Console is most likely the first place you will go and when you are learning about AWS. This is the basic first step where you can interact with the AWS services. That is the AWS Management Console. So that's all for today lecture. We will see AWS CLI and software development kit in next lecture. Thank you for watching.